Hey guys, Chris with Tillman Family Farms. So gonna do a little update on all of the happenings from this past week with this whole kind of fight to help small farmers in Georgia that want to process chicken. So let me recap real quick. So this is like 2 days after Hurricane Helene. We're in Georgia. The hurricane kept going east, so we did not end up with the brunt of it. We got tons of family down in Moultrie and Valdosta, Georgia. They got hit pretty hard down there, so pray for those guys down there. And if you're down there, we love y'all. If you need help, call us and we'll come. So this week, as far as this whole chicken police politicking thing has gotten really interesting. Number one, let's please keep in mind that I am not a politician. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not up on law study or anything like that. I've had a lot of people that have reached out and said, well, why don't you do this? I don't even know what the hell all that stuff is. I'd love to know what it is. But here's the harsh reality of it. I've been a homesteader for a long time, my wife and my kids and I, and I've been in the construction trade for 28 years. That's what I know. Of course, I've been on the office side of that for a long time. These are the things that have happened, okay? I have a reporter, by all research on him or whatever, he's an independent, and he writes, if this wind, I hope y'all can hear me with this wind, he writes and he tries to pitch his ideas to different articles or to different publications. He wants to interview me for an article, and he thinks that he can get this article published in the American Conservative, which is I've looked through it. I see a lot of things that I agree with, and you know, I think the name says a lot for that magazine or that publication anyway. It's online. You can look them up, the American Conservative. Another thing too is I have been contacted by a representative of the DeKalb County Republican Party, I think is the best way that I can make it out. He is a retired service member, and he is wanting to talk with me and other small farmers in the state of Georgia. So if you are a small farmer in the state of Georgia that would be willing to talk about the problems and things that you have on your farm that are government related or regulation issues or whatever, this guy might want to talk to you too. His name is Craig Schneider. He is wanting to start a lobbyist group. And here again comes in some of the other advice that I've been given. So one is, be real careful what you say to that reporter. I'm going to tell you what, I really don't care. I'm going to tell them what I think. I'm going to get all of my paperwork, what I know and what I don't know and all this other stuff, and I'm going to tell them. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell them what I think. I'm not going to hopefully won't get myself in too much trouble, but I'm also at the point too that there's not much left farming wise that they can take from us. You know, this farm business for us is very small. Pork, chicken and beef, you know, $50,000-$60,000 a year. And if you're a small farmer, you know what kind of profit that is. Not much, very slim. So we were kind of doing it because we love it. You know, we weren't trying to make a living or anything like that. So here's the other thing. Back when all of this started, I reached out to a couple of people that I know are big in the fight for regenerative farming politics, okay? Two guys, Joel Salatin and Greg Gunther, okay? I emailed back and forth with Joel Salatin back in the day, and of course, he stood true to the lunatic farmer thing, and he was like, do what you want, you know, just don't tell them, do workarounds, do this, do that, and all that stuff, and that's great. And you know, not saying that Joel is this big guy. Back in the day when he got started, he didn't have any money to fight this stuff either, and somehow he did. He way smarter than I am to figure out how to fight this stuff. So I kind of took what he said with a grain of salt. The other one that's been very helpful is Greg Gunther. He has email, and if you don't know who these two people are, look them up. They're both very you know, involved in all this stuff. I know Joel's written a couple of books. I'm not sure. I guess maybe Greg has too. I know that both of them last year, they testified in front of Congress about different things and different issues. I think they talked about the Prime Act. I think that's Tom Massey's bill that he's been trying to get. It's been floating around out there for a while. Go look at the Prime Act, see what the Prime Act is. I think that would help a lot of small farmers like us if we get that passed. Deals a lot with consumer to processor direct things to where that relationship works differently than what it does now. And it would be beneficial for that situation. So Greg has sent some emails. He has also read some of this stuff. I was sending him some links to the guidelines and all this stuff. And here's, once again, is where I'm not a political guy, and I'm not a, I keep getting told that guidelines are not regulations. But when I got started and I went through everything and I was being inspected on the guidelines, not any regulation. Nobody ever talked to me. Anybody from the Georgia Department of Agriculture that came to my farm to inspect our processing area, facility, all that stuff, never once said a word about regulations. They said, these are the guidelines, you have to follow them. I'm not going to give you this license until you follow these guidelines. That's where I am pitching a fit about guidelines and how the guidelines have changed, because that's the measure that they're using to give out this license, which, mind you, you can't even find this license on the Georgia Department of Agriculture's website anymore. You used to could go there, and there's a section. You can go there today if you want to, Georgia Department of Agriculture, and go in their little search bar and type in licenses, and then there'll be a drop-down bar, and it'll give you a list of licenses. There is now a license in there that is a poultry products dealer, and when you go to it and you look and you see all the stuff that's there, there is nothing that talks about processing chickens, selling whole frozen chickens, cutting up chickens and packaging them. There's nothing that talks about anything like that. It's all just poultry products. I mean, it doesn't say what those, what are we selling? Cornish cross feathered pillows? I mean, what are we doing? So the license has disappeared, which is what the hell I think they were trying to do anyway. They were trying to just knock all the small guys out. The other thing that I have found, I have been on several pasture poultry Facebook groups that are not just specific to Georgia, and I have asked for anybody that has or holds a pasture poultry exemption for 1,000 birds or less to please get in contact with me. Zero. I got one guy that says he knows somebody 3 miles down the road from him, and I'm really hoping this pans out, because I'd love to go up there and see what they've done, see who they talked to, get some names from the Department of Agriculture that approved the facility and all this stuff, and see what he's done. Or has he spent an absolute fortune to do what they want him to do? I don't know. But if he has, he may be more of a lunatic farmer than Joel Salatin ever thought he was, because it is going to take him forever to get this money back. And on top of that, he laid down and he rolled over for a bunch of crap. I don't know. Those are the things that have happened. And everybody else. So the name Will Harris keeps popping up. If you don't know who Will Harris is and you're in Georgia, look up White Oak Pastures. Will Harris and his family have been doing what us small regenerative farmers do. He's been doing that for a long time in Bluffington, Georgia. They've got a great farm down there. They have and they do everything right. Okay, I mean, pasture raised birds, all grass fed beef, pork's the same way. All this stuff, they do everything right. I mean, it's a great place to learn. They do classes. They have farm store. They're opening another farm store in Atlanta. Love them. I sent them an email 2 years ago when all this stuff started happening, and Mr. Harris called me. I talked to him for probably about an hour, and great guy. But he and I had talks about pasture poultry, and Mr. Harris went out and he built a facility on his property to be able to process 20,000 birds, because he was selling to Whole Foods and some of these other big name stores that can sell that stuff for big, high prices, okay? So yes, Mr. Harris has got a lot of knowledge in all this stuff and probably could end up with a lot of pull, but he's so far above us little guys down here. Number one, nothing against him, but I don't think he's interested in this fight because it doesn't have anything to do with him. Number two, he got a lot going on. I mean, a lot going on. So I just really don't think that he would probably be the one to help us. Even though he's in Georgia, it would be great. Mr. Harris, if you're watching, I love you. I love everything you do. If you want to pitch in, whew, thank you. But anyhow, just to kind of summarize all this stuff, we got a lot of people asking questions. We got several people that want to interview me, and I'm trying my best to make sure that I represent well and have enough information when I go to talk to these people. Hopefully, the stuff that Greg Gunther has sent out, I mean, maybe Greg's going to send me back some information about actual regulations. He was the one that kind of slapped my hand a little bit and was like, "Hey, dude, guidelines are guidelines. Those are not laws. Those are not anything. Regulations are more laws." And he looked at it and he was like, "You know, I really think that some of these regulations are in you guys' favor." If that turns out to be, and I am blowing smoke for no reason, and the people at the Georgia Department of Agriculture in Harris County, Georgia, are just wrong and coming out and telling me that I can't do what I'm doing, and these regulations say that I can, I'm gonna be really pissed off because this was 2 years ago, okay? Anyhow, that's where it's at. There's gonna be all kinds of stuff that probably happens with this stuff this week. Hopefully I'll hear back from Greg Gunther. I'm gonna do an interview with this reporter. I'm probably gonna talk to Craig Schneider with this Republican group out of DeKalb County. And maybe even hear back from this guy in a Facebook group. So I work a regular job, guys. I'm 40, 50 hours a week. I have a 45-minute commute, so it's not like I can get off work early one day and go hauling butt up to the northeast corner of the state to go look at another farm that has this stuff. But if this guy comes back and says yes, he does, you can bet your butt that I am going to be up there looking at this place as long as they will let me. I don't want to force anything on anybody. He's probably not going to let me video. If he was smart, he wouldn't let me video. But anyhow, hopefully we're gonna try to figure this stuff out. If you guys are in Georgia and you want to get on board, no other small farmers. I see a lot of people that are saying they're changing their mind about moving to the state of Georgia because of this, because they plan to farm and start a small farm like this. Don't give up hope. We're just really getting started. So give us some time and we'll see what we can come up with. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate all the new subscribers that are following this and kind of helping out. All of that stuff helps. Go down, like, subscribe, share it, and all that stuff so that this information will push further. The way this YouTube stuff works is the more you like it, the more you talk and all that kind of stuff, the more people will see this and the more this word will get out. So we appreciate all you guys that are subscribing and liking and sharing and sending it to your friends and anybody else in agriculture. That's helping out in every way. And everybody that's asking about the petition, I don't even know how to do that. I am desperately searching for people that know that kind of stuff that can help. I've always been one to lean on people that are smarter than me, which if that makes me smart, I don't know, whatever. But so I'm trying to find somebody that can help us with that. I've also heard people say petitions and names and signatures don't mean crap in government, big ag, all this other stuff. I get it. But if I can be a thorn in somebody's side and they may change a little something to make us all shut up, maybe that little something is exactly what we need. So anyhow, keep on liking, keep on subscribing, keep on sharing. Push this information out to as many people as possible. Appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you on the next video.